Good morning, everyone. My name is Alicia Carberry. I'm the co-chair of the Clean Pittsburgh Commission. Rachel Naraki is not able to join us today, so I have asked Lori Beth Jones, a West Side resident, to help with some emceeing support. So with the time being 10:16 a.m., I would like to call the meeting to order and hand it over to Lori Beth for introductions and updates.
Thank you, Alicia. I'm Lori Beth Jones. I live in Crafton Heights, and I'm just a resident and a member of the Clean Pittsburgh Commission. Before we get started here fully, I just want to confirm again that according to the legislation that created the Clean Pittsburgh Commission, 5 members of the commission does constitute a quorum for the transacting of any and all commission business. We do have a quorum today, so I think we should be good to go. So we're going to do our introductions. I already did mine. And so I will call on the next person. Alicia already did hers too. So let's go to Chris Mitchell, who's right to my left on my Zoom screen.
Hi, my name is Chris Mitchell. I am anti-litter specialist with Department of Public Works. And have a couple things I'll talk about today that I don't think I have any other member organization updates outside of those. So we can go to the next person. You want me to popcorn off to the next person, or do you want to call them? All right, let's go with Sally.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Sally Stadelman, and I am Chief of Staff to Councilman Bobby Wilson of the Pittsburgh North Side. And can I popcorn to Myrna?
Sure, sorry. I was trying to unmute and get the video back on. I'm Myrna Newman. I'm the Executive Director of Allegheny Cleanways. And I'm not sure what updates we have. We have a lot going on. We're going to be starting our Ohio River cleanup series in September. It will be 2 weeks of cleaning up along the Ohio River into Beaver County. We'll be tag teaming, kind of a pass the baton to some groups in Beaver County, and are looking forward to that. I think that's probably the biggest thing. Thanks. And I will tag Letitia Washington. Thanks.
I'm Letitia Washington, Environmental Justice Coordinator at 1PA. We're doing a lot of work in Mon Valley, so I'm still getting caught up on a lot of things that are happening within the city. So I don't have any big updates, but I am trying to get updated myself because I haven't been here for a while. So glad to be back.
Thank you very much, Natisha. It's good to see you. Let's go ahead and see if William Lamar, would you like to introduce yourself to the panel today?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just one of the City Channel Pittsburgh staffers recording in the background.
Yes, thank you so much for all of your work, and David as well. So let's go to Erica Young.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Erica Young. I'm with Public Affairs for Waste Management. In regards to an update, we are just getting ready to launch our virtual tour of landfills that we've been working on and putting together. So in about hopefully a week, I'll be able to share that with the commission. So you guys can share it with your audiences about what happens to waste whenever it leaves the curb.
Thank you so much, Erica. Neil Gerbach.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Neil Gerbach. I'm with the City of Pittsburgh Department of Permits, Licenses, and Inspections. No concrete updates for PLI at this time. However, next meeting, we might have something. We are changing some workflow processes on our code enforcement side of our department, and we should be live with that for next meeting. So I'd like to talk with some leadership beforehand.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And Erica Ninus.
Hi, everyone. I'm Erica Ninus. I'm the Sustainability Coordinator at the University of Pittsburgh. I think probably our biggest updates are we just finished up Clutter for a Cause. We did our last community collection on August 9th in the Oakland community with Oakland Planning and Development Corporation. And we are in the process of weighing out all the items we've collected and getting them back out to community organizations. So we're at about 14,000 pounds right now of collected goods that are in really good condition. And so working with free stores and tons of other smaller community organizations, as well as our on-campus thrift store, to get those items back out and rehomed into the community. So that's super exciting.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Oh, Emily, I'm sorry.
It's all good, no worries. I'm Emily Potosny, Zero Waste Events Manager with Pennsylvania Resources Council. I can't tell if you guys are actually able to hear me right now. Can you? Great.
Yeah.
And we are heavy into our household hazardous waste and hard to recycle collection season. We've got 3 collections coming up in August. This weekend at Boyce Park is an HHW. We have hard to recycle collections at Next Here Connect at Pittsburgh East in Monroeville on the 21st. On the 28th, we're at Bethel Park High School with the hard to recycle collection. Meanwhile, doing a lot of zero waste events too. So that's all exciting. And those all they're all on our website, all still posted up there. We'll have collections going all the way through, I think October 9th is our latest one this year. Other news, we are in the process of hiring an environmental program specialist who will assist with a lot of those programs. I think we're about to wrap up those interviews. But if you do know anybody who is interested in waste diversion, waste reduction, all of that kind of work, they're probably still accepting some applications. And yeah, that is pretty much where we're at.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody, for your updates today, and especially in a quick and concise manner. We're going to keep it moving, so I'm going to hop back over to the agenda, where we're going to review again our value statement on equity and diversity. I'm just going to read that really quickly, and then we will get somebody to move to approve today's agenda. The Clean Pittsburgh Commission celebrates the 300,000 members in 90 neighborhoods of Pittsburgh and affirms member representation must be geographically, socioeconomically, and racially diverse in order for the body to be effective, relevant, and creative. The Commission recognizes deficiencies and actively engages different perspectives through a platform of mutual respect. This engagement and respect will be a tenet of all regular meetings and all program functions of the Commission, as well as in all communications. When a distinct neighborhood is in focus, initiatives developed with that neighborhood will be shared as replicable project templates. Work within neighborhoods of focus will be informed by neighbor input. Obtaining input will be done thoughtfully by meeting people of different ages and levels of civic participation where they are. I hope everyone has received today's agenda, as well as the June meeting minutes for their review. If anyone could go ahead and move to approve our agenda for the meeting today, since we're already firing away on it.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that, Alicia.
Thank you so much. And has everyone, Erica, June minutes review and approval. It's you.
Thank you to Olivia for taking the June minutes. Hopefully everybody had a chance to review them. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes from the June meeting?
Motion
Yes.
to approve.
Chris, thank you.
Lori Beth will second.
Lori Beth?
Sure.
Any opposed? All in favor? Motion carries.
Thank you so much, Erica. All right, moving right along. Up next, we're going to follow up on our meeting that we had last month. Was that a whole month ago now? With Mayor Peduto. That went fast. Chris and Alicia and Erica have those updates for us.
I can start with the broad brush of it. Per our legislation, the Clean Pittsburgh Commission is afforded an annual meeting with the mayor. So we met in July with Mayor Peduto, some from the comfort of our homes and some in person. And we got to show off a lot of the work that we have done, a lot of the great work that we have done, and share some of the challenges. Chris was able to present our goals on littering and dumping in a detailed type of way. Chris, would you want to talk a little bit more about that? And then I can mention next steps.
Yeah, so I've presented the gold plan, goals on littering and dumping, to the Clean Pittsburgh Commission before. It's something we've been working on the past year or so, depending on when you consider when we started on it. But it has been something we've been making moves on within Department of Public Works, Environmental Services, along with the mayor's office and a few others from other departments as well, largely concerning how the city has fractured responsibilities when it comes to litter and illegal dumping. Everyone in the city, every department tends to have their hands in it in some way, and having all those different departments dealing with the same thing leads to us not being as effective as if we, or as other cities when they have concentrated those efforts into a single unit. So we've been making moves on that. We were finally able to present that to the mayor. He agreed that there was definitely a need. He saw what other cities have done with the 2019 litter cost study in Pennsylvania and saw that we were behind. So he wants to help us make some moves on that in adding some positions into the budget that will call for environmental enforcement officers and a few other changes. We do want to hold a press conference with the mayor to support GOLD, to promote literati, to promote Garbage Olympics, and all the other ways that all these things are involved. Anything else we need on that one?
No, but we're looking to do that relatively soon. And when Chris shows off the video that our covert conspicuous cameras placed at a dump site in an East End neighborhood, showing off some of that footage may inspire you to be pretty angry and with a new energy to meet some of the goals and continue some of the work that we've started. So we're hoping to pull that together relatively soon. Part of what we asked the mayor for was support for the 3 positions as part of the GOLD plan that we want to build to in the 2022 operating, but the city's 2022 operating budget, and kind of grow from there. But those positions include an outreach specialist for environmental services, and 2 environmental inspectors. So, currently we have Melissa Rosenfeld as our sole environmental enforcement coordinator at the city. And there is much more, there's a lot of room for more focus there on the education and the enforcement element. So we made a staffing support request, GOLD plan in general, and the mayor was very excited to hear about our plans for the 5th annual Garbage Olympics coming soon, September 18th. And then Erica, you had helped, so kindly helped remotely taking some notes for us that we mushed into a memo with our notes also, that we will be presenting to the mayor's chief of staff in memo and thank you form for meeting us. So yeah, I think that wraps that part, right? Anything else?
So in last year's budget that finally came together this year, the Clean Pittsburgh Commission had approved spending some money on new cameras. Up until this point, the city has used trail cameras to capture images and see if we can get a license plate. It's done this for at least a decade, but it is slow going and it takes a lot of maintenance. So we decided to try something that Phoenix was doing a lot with video cameras. And we've been working with city surveillance using CPC money. We finally have a really great video that has, you can see the people, you can see the action, and you can see it from multiple different camera angles. And we are going to go with public safety with this information later today. They're very keen on using the footage to catch this person. But we've been playing and trying new things with these cameras, and we're just so pleased to finally have something. And this is such a bad dump site that the person that we have in video here goes there multiple times a day almost. And we want this place where we have these cameras, this amount of dumping, to be where we want to announce a lot of this, to show the need of how badly we need these enforcement officers. So I'm going to share my screen here. We're going to see this video of what you guys have paid for. So this is a huge difference over what we've had previously with our trail cameras, and we are able to get really great shots of the license plate. This guy hit this place, you can see the trash back there. He'd been there a couple times that day and then even the week before, but he's not the only one. There's this place has a lot of dumping for construction materials and things like that in several different places, which calls for more cameras, and city surveillance is happy to provide us with. We did just recently go out there to this site and spray paint the cameras because they are stark white, and one of them got destroyed fairly easily, but they were happy to replace that and let us spray paint them. These cameras are going to be moved throughout the city. We currently have them in 2 different locations, and we have 5 places that they can go, and we will be expanding that as we continue to fund this. But it is just unbelievable the amount it's already caught in a very short amount of time now that we've got it up and running.
Christopher, can we attach a megaphone to these cameras so we can yell at people as they're dumping? We see you.
That would be wonderful. But what we want to do is turn this over to the news and let the news yell at these people and everybody else and say, look at this jerk coming to your neighborhood and doing this. So I think with this really great video footage, the news will really eat this up. So as soon as this goes to public safety, local news is next right after that. In Phoenix, they say even if they don't catch the person who does this, when they show this footage on the news, illegal dumping drops drastically for about 6 months before people forget and start doing it again. So that's the hope.
Wow, thank you. I love watching TV and meetings. Okay, is that everything that we have for the mayor's meeting and those follow-ups? And do we want to move on to Garbage Olympics? Garbage Olympics! Woo!
Year 5, most garbage, most Olympics yet.
There's not a name next to Garbage Olympics 5.
All right, I'll talk about this too. We've been getting Garbage Olympics up and running. We have a dedicated website this year, pghgo.org. This year, we are using Survey 123 to let people register, and there'll be automatic. People can register to lead their neighborhood team, and so sign up new teams, and then they can also this year, which is new, join their teams through this website through a very similar process of registering. Before we were just kind of saying, hey, go talk to this guy who's leading your team. But we're doing a little bit better. We're informing both the residents who are joining teams and the captains more about how they need to prepare the trash, because we want to make sure everything that can be recycled through ECS&R and things like that are we're getting a little bit more pinpointed with where these things are. So we're not finding out, a month from now, oh, DPW never picked this stuff up. So we're getting better every year at getting this taken care of. September 18th is the day, 9 a.m. to 11, and then 12 o'clock, we're going to have an in-person closing ceremony at Threadbare again, where we've already placed in the budget 2,000. We're probably going to spend all of that on litter pickup sticks. We did that last year. They were very popular. This year, we're going to be trying a little bit more fundraising to cover costs of food, to cover cost of swags and giveaway and prizes and things like that. If our fundraising comes up a little short, we may ask the Clean Pittsburgh Commission to cover a little bit more if that comes along, and we can vote on that. But I think that would be fair, and I think everybody here would be pretty happy to do it as well. Anything else, Alicia?
No, I was just going to share some applause with you, Chris. You've really modernized and made the entire planning of this event so much more efficient and accessible, easy to interact with, and improved so many city processes along the way. Amia Equaly is not with us today, but she's typically our representative from Environmental Services and has played a large part, as well as the two founders of the Garbage Olympics, Renee Robinson and Lena Andrews. So we have been working on a lot of stuff. We have an 8-page to-do list at this point, broken out by category, and are clicking through and getting a lot of things done. Something that we'll ask all of you to do and make a couple of asks leading up to what's about 6 weeks from now, that Saturday, September 18th, is primarily promotion. We will very soon have a sense of, we have 17 neighborhoods signed up right now. We'll be able to assess, which neighborhoods have not signed up and see how we can engage with people to get a team going or to join a neighboring team. So we have a lot of plans for looking at this more holistically and making sure that year 5 can break previous records. Last year we had 38 neighborhoods. This year Pittsburgh has 90, and we're hoping to do more than half of those. So here we are. Yeah, just wanted to shout out to the other organizers and highlight some of the clerical and admin work that goes into all of this. And of course, all the people who help out. So here we go. Part of that promotion, there is a Facebook event now. We have a flyer for the event and we'll be working on getting that out through the city's Office of Community Affairs, on Nextdoor, in some of the city's newsletters, the social media that the city has, and your help with reposting any of that would be so helpful, as well as talking to the people in your life who are mad about garbage. Anything else in the Garbage Olympics?
That sounds right to me. Yeah, we'll send out everybody reminders. This year, we're not going to be needing as much in the way of judges, which we've tried before. This year, we're using these same sort of forms to let everybody come to us with that information, including pictures. So that's how we're going to evaluate that stuff. So instead of judging, if you want to lead a team, if you want to join a team, if you want to be any more involved, please let us know, and we'll get you set up the best we can.
And if I could just mention too, the way that we've promoted the Garbage Olympics in the past has been, as much as possible to meet people where they are. Not everyone has Twitter. So a tweet to promote isn't quite enough. So one of the things too that could ask for help with this flyer, you could print it out and put it in bulletin boards in our neighborhoods, and try to, across many different mediums, print, radio, maybe, video, all of the things. So if you can think of something creative, a way to reach people or get the word out, please do. We're all ears.
Thank you, everyone. Garbage Olympics. All right, we're rolling. Up next on the agenda are our finance committee updates, and Afton and Sarah are not able to be with us today. I do not know if there's a brief report to give here, or if we will just push this until September.
Lori Beth, let's push it till September. Ami was also to join or to share out a voucher update for the discounts that the Clean Pittsburgh Commission is funding for the city's hard to recycle neighborhood collection events through our vendor ECSNR. So we don't have that in real time just yet. So we can make a more robust financial report at our September meeting.
Yeah, I don't think there are any major changes. I think that the voucher program has been very successful, would be the main part of that report, and we'll look forward to hearing about that next month. So then we will move on to old business and the pickup PGH contract update. Alicia.
Can you hear me? So both of the pickup PGH contract or license agreements with Allegheny Cleanways and with Operation Better Block, both organizations have submitted all of their exhibits and accompanying materials to the city, and a follow-up is needed with the city departments where it currently is. So another month's update that those agreements have not been executed yet.
A generally slow process, but an important one. So thank you for that update. Next, we'll be talking about our neighborhood of focus in Esplin with Chris Mitchell.
So neighborhood of focus, we had planned last month to do a large cleanup with the smart grabbers with literati. We had put a lot of promotion behind that and then had to cancel it within 24 hours because of thunderstorms that were supposed to be going on for the next 24 hours. So when that one canceled, we rescheduled in August. We had a modest cleanup last weekend. Thank you for everyone who came to that. I know Saturdays are hard. Everyone's busy, and it's vacation season and a million other reasons you couldn't come. So I'm very appreciative of everybody who could. We were able to give smart grabbers out on that. We still have a large amount of them that we can give out for another event or literati focused effort. But we need to regroup with Esplin and talk more about what they want. I did meet with them at the very beginning of the year, and since then we haven't had a lot of focus on our neighborhood of focus as much as we would have liked. Besides a few cleanups, I do want to get a very good cleanup, especially along West Carson. They have a lot of problems there. I know that is, that is state responsibility, and it's something that they've struggled with for a very long time. But it does need to come back into what do those residents want us to do, and I think it's time for us to regroup with them. So that's going to be next steps with them.
Thank you very much, Chris, for that report. Our next item is, of course, the voucher update that Alicia touched on, and Ame was unable to be here this morning, so we'll look forward to getting that information as part of the finance and old business update in September. Now we're on to new business. I know we have already touched on some of the member organization updates during the intros, and I really like them in the intros. I think that's a nice place for them, so maybe we'll work on doing that more in the future. Is there other new business anyone that we should address right now? Or something that you thought of since the intros that you want to go over now?
I do want to say real quick, everything that everyone brought up earlier sounded so interesting. I want to make sure that we get that all in our newsletter coming up within the next week. If you have something, I know a lot of it seems like we've going to have something very cool in the next week or month. But if any of it is ready to go, please send it to me. We'll put it in the Clean Pittsburgh newsletter for anybody who is watching at home. Please subscribe to our Clean Pittsburgh newsletter. You can find it on the City of Pittsburgh's webpage at pittsburghpa.gov/Clean Pittsburgh Commission. I forget what, just search Clean Pittsburgh Commission on the city page and you'll find us.
I wanted to add, it's relevant to this group. It came up in the meeting with the mayor, but there is a vacancy in environmental services for the recycling supervisor position. And it's still very preliminary, but I wanted to let you all know that I applied for it. And it could be a way to continue our, my involvement in the Clean Pittsburgh Commission and our work together. But interviews are being scheduled now. So I guess root for me, but I also want to root for the best candidate. So we'll see. May the best candidate win.
If we could only be so lucky.
I would put out a yard sign for that candidacy if it were an option. And I don't love a yard sign myself. But anyway, so according to my reading, we've made it through the agenda. Is that possible? Is that a thing that happened? You're mute.
We're very efficient today.
Record time.
Okay. If there is anything else that anyone needs to bring to the table this morning, going once.
Hey, I might be behind, but can I get an update on how is the contract between the city and Allegheny Cleanways going? Was that able to make it through the law department, and are things moving now? Do we have a more direct relationship, or what's going on?
Yeah, so I mentioned in the Pickup PGH contract update, both organizations have submitted all of their exhibits and insurance documents to the city and updated what they've submitted previously. And it is with our Office of Management and Budget right now to finalize, to stitch that final agreement together and circulate it for electronic signatures very soon.
Great. So that sounds like it'll be much. And then is there a, will Allegheny Cleanways have direct access to 301 requests, or how will those requests get processed and sent along to? Asking for a friend. It's sent along to the Cleanways, or maybe, or maybe that's something maybe that's not ready now, but.
Yeah, so the work is as it was proposed to the city in response to the request for proposals that we put out. So it's not quite as reactive as the city usually is. It's focused in a specific area with some scheduled cleanups and the ability to pay the participants in those cleanups. But Sally, you bring up a good point that there is room for improvement in the on-call day-to-day responses to heavy dumping.
And just to throw my 2 cents in there also, we would love to be able to do that. to have some way, CDBG money also limits us. So yeah, we would love to be able to respond.
Where you can go and,
Yeah, if we're
okay, great. Okay, sorry, thanks for the refresher. I was a little fuzzy on the details, but appreciate it. Glad to hear we're almost there.
Thank you, everyone. Is there anything else that we haven't covered yet today? Okay. Would someone like to move to adjourn this meeting, I guess? Am I allowed to make the meeting be over early?
It's
I'm like,
August. It is the way of the August
ever
meeting.
happened before? I don't know.
We'll be back to our
Motion to
2-hour
adjourn.
sessions next month, I'm sure. Well, motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
All in favor? Do we vote on that? I don't know.
Aye.
I'm not as good at Robert's rules as I could be, so sorry. I'll get better. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. It's good to see all of your two-dimensional faces again. Have a great day. And thank you so much, David and William, for making us all YouTube stars this morning.